Hello again everyone, Order 513 here. Today we have the Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Optimus Prime leader class, and we're going to be checking out his trailer first, all the details, and then the figure. So first of all, he rolls really well. These wheels are painted, these ones are not. These ones are also painted. The entire trailer section isn't painted except for the details you obviously see. The inside is also not too detailed. We'll take a look at that first. We'll set them off to the side just for now, right now. So this trailer, it stands up on its own with this little thing there. It's a little bit wobbly. It's fine though. It doesn't really need to support much weight because it's got nothing inside of it. It opens up over the top like this. You can set it as is. You can fold this back down if you wish. It has a few features worth mentioning. This, first of all, on the top, it has this small, not quite roller, but not quite a named figure sort of item. It has two little arms. I'll fold these struts back out just so we can get a bit more balance on it. This ramp does fold down all the way, so you can drive a probably more like a legend scale. I don't think deluxes will fit in there, although they might not when it closes up. It folds flat out. You can fold those down if you wish, so you can drive it in longer. It has a lot of ports on the side to hold 5mm port weapons, be that guns, swords, etc, etc. Optimus does come with one gun, but no sword or no that sort of weapon. It also comes with a shield, which I'll show off. It folds out from this part here. This guy can rotate. He's got a joint here with a mushroom peg for the rotation. Ball joints on these little arms. This is also a hinge joint. It can detach and attach to Optimus on his arm or as a backpack. If you fold these up and fold that in, it can be sort of a little jetpack sort of array. We'll show that off when we get to the robot mode. I'll set that off to the side for now. Also comes with this back section. This bit comes out, becomes a shield. It's a very small shield for the size of Optimus, which is a little disappointing. You can set this like so to make a sort of armament, I suppose. I'll show that off in robot mode as well. And that's around about it for the trailer. It has ports underneath to store the gun or any other weapons you might find. This doesn't really fit anywhere else other than there, which is kind of disappointing. It can fold like this. I've actually a couple of times for display set it as sort of a, so if you go like this, you can then set this little guy wherever you so choose. You can set him, so if you fold that, how did I have it before? I definitely had it, oh yeah, it was here like this. So you put that into that plug and fold this up to be a sort of gun. Fold that upwards like this, fold that out if you want, plug that wherever you can. Get that out of the way. Plug it, I guess, here if you want, just to give it that a little bit more detail. And then it's kind of like a bunker, like a from hide behind, I guess. I don't know the name what it will be. We'll move on to robot mode for now. So you've got the vehicle, very nice paint applications, lovely silver paint across the front, picked out a lot of detail. Got the grille, this sort of radiator section, I believe. Lights aren't painted, could be better. That grey is kind of egregious. I wish that joint was done in red. Sides got the iconic white line. These sections always fold away inside. I'll fold them back out for you. I think they're maybe gas canisters or radiator tanks. I don't know my trucks too well. The back isn't too long. It could be shorter. I think a little bit shorter would make it look a little better. You can see this rotates on the back. This is in fact his gun, which plugs in. I sort of leave it in there to fill in that truck area a little bit. Fold that out, plug it into there, and then it's his iconic ion blaster. Set that off to the side. Again, so many features. These parts open. We'll show that off a little bit more. It's got his matrix of leadership in there, which can actually come out. It's a little fiddly to get out because of just the way it's situated. So you might need to, there we go, hit from the top a little bit. Got that hole there. I do believe that's a 5mm port. I could be wrong. I don't think I've got any weapons that that could fit in there, because obviously this section is far too deep. So yeah, his matrix of leadership, really nice. Small, it would be amazing if it was die cast. It's not, it's just painted. I believe it's all this see-through blue plastic, and then painted this orangey bronze, like burnt orange sort of colour. And the silver there. On the back, it does actually have a 5mm port, so you can plug it, if you wish, you can plug it onto his gun and make it matrix powered, I suppose it would be. So that's pretty nice. You can also plug any of the blast effects on the back of this, which is a good feature. I don't have any on my person at the moment. So yeah, iron blaster to the side, matrix to the side, we'll plug that back in. This just folds back up. So, down to the transformation. First of all, if these haven't folded in by themselves already, fold these into the leg. Then you want to untab these two wheel well sections on the side, and then sort of just unclip this entire top sort of cab section. Untab these legs. They don't really tab, they just sort of rest in these holes here. Fold the legs all the way down, straighten them out. You can then fold these kneecap sections down. Split the legs. These feet then fold outwards and flatten out to make a very nice standing base. And then you can stand, he's got his angle tilt so you can get him situated. This top section, then if you want to loosen this panel here and this panel here, loosen them both up, just like so on both sides. There you go. And then take this and just rotate it up. You can then take this opportunity to loosen the arms down, and then rotate this entire waist section 180 degrees around. There's two little flaps on the back, you can sort of see them, these here. They fold out. If this part gets out of the way, thank you. Fold these out, and they then hug around to his abdomen section, just like so. Take this opportunity while everything's out of the way to spread his arms to the side. Open this section on the back, flip his head around just like so. It will then tab. The same slot that I used for closed will be used for that, and it stays very rigid. This section, then fold it all the way up, fold this section out, untab it. These flaps will then fold all the way onto the inside, like so. This grill section here will then disconnect from this chest section and fold flush onto the back of it. You can then fold this back down to where it was, and then this whole section down clips in. Almost done. These panels on the arm, flip them out, rotate them around, same on this side, just like so, rotate them out. Last but not least, this sort of rear section, I suppose you could call it. Fold that up, fold the wheel wells in, as flat as it can go on the back. And then get them posed, I'll move the camera upwards so you can see him in all his glory. There we go. He just cast a nice silhouette, I must admit. Very recognisable as Optimus himself. So yeah, he's also a good figure. He's very G1 accurate, I suppose. An update as the Earthrise and Siege tend to be. His legs are very long, but I do think that gives it a sort of a anime-esque Gundam robot design. You can get him in some very dynamic positions. He can, I believe, because of the knee joints getting to a quite apt superhero landing sort of pose, although maybe not, because his legs are his arms are very short. You can sort of get it in that position. So down to articulation. I'll just set him up in a stance. Starting at the top, the head, ball joint, look up about that far, down not so much. Full 360 rotation and a little bit of tilt, which is always a plus. These arm sections, universal joint I believe on the shoulder, so it goes out to around 90 degrees. Rotates 180 around. You have a bicep swivel, just here. Joint at the elbow, just over 90 degrees. Actually, no, I think it might be dead on 90 for the transformation. Rotation at the wrist. No side to side, although because of the way it tabs in, it does sort of rock a little bit. He has articulated fingers, which is very, very rare on the mainline Voyagers. Which, technically, I know he is a leader class, but he is just a Voyager size. He's actually a partial remold of the Siege Optimus Prime. The legs, a lot of the legs remain the same, hence why there's empty sort of what looks like there should be parts moving in there, and all on the back and stuff. There's pins, and you sort of see that pin glistening there. But yeah, he's very nice. Rotation at the waist, you can only get around about that far because of this back section, but if you sort of untab this and rotate it down, you can get a full 360, as you saw for the transformation. For the back up though. The hips, this hip skirt section is actually the rotation joint, so that can kick out around 90, just over, well, actually quite a lot over 90 degrees on the knee there. You have a rocker joint on the foot. The toe and the heel section can also move. So if you've got on maybe a jump and pose, you can point that toe downwards to make it a little bit more dynamic. That's around about it for the articulation. And then give him his gun, stands him up a little bit. Doesn't have to be in his left hand, but well, I guess his right hand to him, but our left. Optimus does tend to always hold his gun in his right hand, though. It's stayed the same in a lot of media. This matrix, which we saw before, can then go back in his chest, and you can get him in quite a cool, if you bring these back, open his hands a little bit into sort of a holding his chest open pose. You can do that with both arms, but I'll just do it for one for now. Tab that over. Yeah, you can get him in quite a cool opening his chest sort of pose. This is very nice. Again, we'll bring in that trailer section to show off some compatibility with that. It is a little bit taller than him, but you can place him in there to make him look like he's getting armed up, or you do have to be wary of this sort of section. It's very wide stance there. He does come packaged like this sort of position in the box. This section again, like I said before, you can, if you so choose, you can tab it onto his arm, give him kind of a clawy arm, or rotate it up and be more of a blaster. A very long blaster, but I guess if you rotate it this way and like that, it sort of is a bit more where a blaster should be. Again, you can also tab this onto his back, give him kind of a jet pack there to be blasting off again. I'll rotate it this way, but just give him more of a behind the neck collar sort of look. But again, you can do what you choose with it. One feature I have found, if you want to give Optimus a more iconic silhouette with less kibble, is this section is just on a clip. It's not, it is pinned, but it's just clipped onto that pin. So you can take that off. It does give him that kind of overhang, but it does make his silhouette a lot more tidy, I suppose. It doesn't have that back section hanging off like you did before. But obviously for the process of review, I'll just leave that where it is. His gun can fold up again as it was in vehicle mode and plug onto his back if that's what is wished, or you can put it sort of the side on and give him sort of maybe a gas canister, or fold it out as a gun and sort of have it hanging off his back like so. That's also quite a cool look. But yeah, he's a very nice figure, plenty of articulation, a good size, fits in quite well with a lot of the other figures in the line, or a lot of figures in other lines. fantastic representation of a Generation 1 style. Plug this back on here just for the final shot. You can, I didn't mention it before, but you can have this down when he's in there. It's kind of like a repair bay. Or actually, I didn't even note, but you can lie this down flat, put it like this, and lie him down as a medical bay. If you've got Ratchet or another of the medical bots, you can have them working on it if you want that for a display. It's quite cool. Quite a cool look, I suppose. But again, let's do the final thoughts on this guy. So yeah, the final thoughts: good figure, good size, good posability, good paint. Could do with a bit more. This grey plastic, especially on the trailer, is quite egregious. It just looks like a sea of grey. But apart from that, fantastic figure. The question, remember to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, please. I am only just new. This is only my second video. The question of the day today is, do you prefer a more complex and long transformation, so for example a masterpiece figure, or a quick and easy and simple transformation, perhaps like this, maybe this sort of in between, but I'm talking something more like maybe not the one-step changes, but that sort of ilk. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Brilliant time as always. Remember, stay safe, have fun, and keep it real. Next review, I think, will be the Studio Series Movie 1 Megatron, and I'll get that up hopefully tomorrow. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment and subscribe. Stay safe.